David Adams asks, how did the birthday bash come together and be developed into a yearly event? Will you do one this year? Thank you so much.
How did the birthday bash become a yearly event? Clues in the question. I have a birthday every year. That's why it became a yearly event. I don't know why. It was one of those gigs that was booked, and it happened to be on my birthday, so we called it a birthday bash. And then I think, a manager or something said we should do that every year. And maybe and me went, okay. And then it started from there. Will there be one this year? No. I've explained it before, but I don't enjoy them. They're a lot of hard work for very little reward. You make money, but working really, really hard just to make money is not a good idea. I know it's quite the thing, but I think it's a waste of your fucking time. So I never really enjoyed the birthday bashes. I'd be the one that was working for days and days and days up to the thing, and then rehearsing for 2 days, and then rehearsing the day of the show all day for people that couldn't make the rehearsals. And then as soon as it finished, you'd go back, have a fucking beer, and then you'd be out there doing a 3-hour show. By the time I got off stage, everybody was pissed. I'm the only sober person in the whole place. There's no way I've got time, fucking midnight, to catch everyone up. And then, that would be my birthday. I think I got into the idea because I hate birthdays. So I figured if I'm just working on my birthday, I can get rid of the birthday thing. But now I don't think I hate birthdays anymore. Don't even care about birthdays anymore. I don't think they mean anything. So they don't have so much importance to me. So I think the birthday bash is probably more important to other people than it is to me, because I don't give a shit what day I was born on or anyone else. You love them all the time or not, or you don't bother. So yeah, every day is my birthday. Every gig's a birthday bash.
Rob has a question about a specific song here. It's maybe a bit of a technical one. Ginger, how do you count in the intro of Justin Lust?
One, two, three, four. I have never met anyone who's got that right. I figured it was just a riff. I didn't realize I was writing something that was mathematical. But people hear it. Da 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 dun dun dun. Da 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 dun 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 da da da. Which is a terrible riff. It's a fucking dreadful riff. Oh, my hair. Jesus Christ, I have fucked up with this fucking hair. I quite like it. There you go. That's me with hair. Yeah, the Justin Lust riff. There's a bunch of them. There's some funny little bits that just make sense to me. There's a bunch of stuff on the album that made sense to me, and everyone is like, "Well, where the fuck does it come from?" And I'm like, it's just how my head digests the information, and it makes sense in there. But I gather that not everything that I think does make a lot of sense to people, music included. But yeah, that's the riff for Justin Lust. I have no idea why it makes sense to me and no one else. I have no idea why people think it's that dreadful. That's a fucking shit riff. You shouldn't like bands with riffs that shit.
Ricky has a question. Hi, Ginger.
Hi, Ricky.
Your music has always been a powerful mix of raw emotion and fearless honesty. How do you balance vulnerability with resilience in your songwriting, especially when tackling personal or mental health themes?
I think vulnerability is a strength, but I've come to realize that quite late in life. And I think I probably knew already that it was okay to be vulnerable, but it's just a pathological honesty that I've got. The idea of lying in a song about something just strikes me as being completely against the creative process. You're trying to, progress and make something bigger than the tiny little idea in your head. So telling the truth just seems to be a big part of it. Plus, if you tell the truth and you're writing something about something that actually happened, you can remember the lyrics later on, where if it's a bunch of bullshit, you probably can't. You have to have autocue and things like that on stage. But I've always liked pathological honesty in everything. But in art, it's a no-brainer. I want to know the person. Who is this person? And how fucked up are they really? And I think it's okay to let that out in your art. I've always agreed that lyrics are poetry. It's an ancient and well-respected foundation of all the arts is the spoken word. I've always tried to be really honest with my lyrics. Too honest sometimes. There's a time and a place, and sometimes people don't need to know everything. But I'm going to tell you anyway. So fuck you. But yeah, I just believe that It's easier to be honest and then face the flack afterwards than to bullshit and float around on a cloud of lies.
Question from Nicholas Olson. Hi, Ginger. Good luck with the recording. Looking forward to hearing the result. I've listened to Satanic Rites almost every week since it came out, so I'm really looking forward to the next one. I saw you and also welcomed you to Sweden Time to Rock a few weeks ago. What a performance, great gig when your playtime was in the middle of the day in the sunshine. And it's good that the new songs fit so well among the previous old hits live. What were your impressions of the festival, the audience, and the reception that you got?
Audience was great. Reception was great. Festival was a bit stuffy. The audience wanted us to play an extra song. We could have played an extra song. We would have went 3 minutes over time, but the guy on the side of the stage was not fucking having it. I don't know whether he hated the band, hated his job, hated you lot, but it was just, you come off stage that time, no matter how well you're going down, which I thought was a bit stupid. If things are going well and everyone's having a good time, you keep it going. Surely that's the nature of festivals. I had a great time at that festival. We had a great time at the festival. And like I said, it was a bit of a tumultuous, trying time, and we just made the best of it. And I got to hang out with the choir boys and see the choir boys, and that was fun, watching the choir boys. Funny, really, really weird. When you're in a band, it sounds completely different than the band sounds. I thought the choir boys sounded like they do in my head, and they don't. They're quite nice sounding. I thought it was a bit more, but that was probably just my guitar. Yeah, I had a great time there. I really enjoyed it. Saw a few good bands and a few nice people. But yeah, to be honest, it was a time when I could have done with having a week to prepare to go in the studio to record this very important album. And it was just one of those things where you're like, you're not going to get to do that. You're going to go straight from the festival into the thing, and you're going to get prepared on the fly. I'm good with that. It's not ideal, but I'm good with that. Challenges. So I had a good time, and I'm glad it went well. And nothing else to say.
Question from Steve N. Hi, Ginger. Did you ever get to meet Ozzy Osbourne? And do you have any stories that you could tell us about if you did? I'm going to miss that dude so much.
Yeah, Ozzy is. Everyone's going to miss Ozzy. It's like losing a family member, losing someone like Ozzy. It's so big. It's bigger than. I got told off for putting a happy post on there online because someone said, "Come on, dude, it's Ozzy Osbourne died. You're not allowed to be happy when Ozzy Osbourne dies." And Ozzy Osbourne would fucking hate that. Yeah. It's Ozzy was huge. Yes, I did meet him. The choir boys were managed by Sharon Osbourne, and so we got to hang out with Ozzy quite a lot. And it was funny because he was sober when I first met him, and I obviously wasn't because I was young and daft. And he said, I had a vodka and Coke, or vodka and orange it was actually, and he went, "That stuff will kill you." And I was like, "Are you serious, Ozzy?" And he went, yeah, I know what I'm talking about. That stuff will kill you. And I went, "Ozzy, we're lucky there's any fucking alcohol left after you fucking went through it." And he laughed. I made Ozzy laugh. But he was Ozzy. He was exactly how you imagine Ozzy being, 24/7, like Lemmy, just like real deal characters. And we'll all miss him. We'll all miss him. But I've got nothing but fondness about how he went. I don't think it's sad. He played the gig. He waited to do the gig, say goodbye to everyone, went home, said goodbye to his family, and left. What a fucking classy way of doing it. He did it the proper way. And I'm happy for that. I think it's beautiful the way that he went. Yeah, I don't think anyone who loves Ozzy would like to see him suffer and get worse and worse and worse. So yeah, the whole thing was as beautiful as death can be. Another thing, death is beautiful, much like birth. Both of which quite traumatic, but they are beautiful. They're part of the same thing, and it's that essential life thing. And we get so bogged down. I've been to celebrated death in Mexico where people get it right and they celebrate how great that person was and what an effect they had and how great it was to be around them. Not like, let's just be miserable. I think that, a lot of the Westerners, they get it wrong. They've got death wrong. How can you be sad at Ozzy's death with all of the things that he did, all the entertainment that he gave him? Surely you should be happy. Happy that you were there, alive, at the same time that Ozzy Osbourne was alive. At least that's the way I look at it. But yeah, Ozzy, I've met him a few times and he's fucking absolutely spot on and never ever got any ideas about his station. He had no ego problems. He wasn't precious about anything. He was just a fella from Birmingham who had done really well with his life, kept the sense of humour, and just tackled things with the aid of his lovely wife. And yeah, we're all going to miss Ozzy. He's the last of a dying breed. But like I said on the other podcast, you're probably going to watch while you watch this. Because I hope you're having a nice Friday. Hope you have a nice weekend. But yeah, I think there's very few elder statesmen of rock with some real stories to tell. And that's why I loved the Ozzies and the Lemmys and the Phil Lynnetts, or Lynett. I still call him Lynnett, and he's still called David Bowie as far as I'm concerned. Fuck all y'all. But I'm happy to take that mantle and be that for people. People need rock stars. I never saw it as being a derogatory term. And when the Wildhearts were going, it was a very derogatory term. People used to use rock stars as an insult. Never got it. Never understood it. Rock stars are fucking awesome. They're movie stars. What the fuck could be bad about being a rock star? So I hope that whole taboo thing about rock stars is going to be over for the current generation, and they're going to want to hear some stories, because young people have very few good stories by definition. Come on, not say anything out of the ordinary there. I think people want people to play music with scars, with fucking gnarly, fucking wrinkled faces and fucking tattoos that don't look very good and all that fucking shit. All the good stuff. Fucking pirates. Arr, that's what we want. And I'll be that. I'll be a pirate, motherfuckers. No bother. I've got nothing better to do with my time.
Right. This is from, sounds like a 70s pop duo, Gary Davidson and Kiki B.
It does sound like a pop duo.
Regarding bebop narrative and It Came From the North, were they always intended to be 2 albums? Also, just wondered why there were 4 covers spread over both, which is unusual for you. Hope the recording is going well, and I, for one, can't wait to hear the fruits of your labour. Much love.
It wasn't meant to be 2 albums. It was, I just had a load of songs, and the theme of the whole thing was memories, was me looking back at all the things that I loved, and there's certain songs that made me who I am that I did cover versions of, and I don't think they were very popular songs, although Kerosene by Big Black's obviously very popular, but there was one cover version on there from a band called Piranha Brothers that never even got recorded, so the only recorded version of that song is mine. I love the song and I really wanted people to hear it. The Richard O'Brien one, Captain Invincible, that was a song that just lifted me by my shoulders at a time where I needed guidance. I needed some inspiration, and that was the one. Carried me like a fucking cloud of hope, and I wanted you to have that. And we recorded it and it sounded great, and I thought, well, if that can do that for someone, if that can have that effect, or a tiny version of that effect, then that's worth doing. But yeah, it wasn't meant to be 2 albums. It just all ended up sounding good, and we were just like, well, we should make the other one available. I don't know. I listened to them both. I realised that I play drums on pretty much all of bebop narrative, which I don't know if that had any sway on the ones that I didn't like as much as the ones that I liked. That Jason Bourne played drums on the ones that ended up on the album. I think most of them. I played drums in a couple, but I don't know. It ended up being 2. That happens to me a lot. You start out there and then the plot changes, and I just call it a plot twist. I like it in movies. I like it when it happens in life. We change our mind, and I'm into that.
Hello, Nico from Italy here. After the first Pledge campaign, you and Gaff seemed an unstoppable force. You released some great albums together. Do you still talk?
I reached out to him just the other day, and asked if he would be interested in doing anything together, and he was too busy, but it was nice to touch fingers again. Yeah, we had a bit of a falling out. It's old news now. No need to reinvestigate or let you know what it was all about, but it was business. Business partners fall out all the time, and it seems really ugly at the time, and at some point you just go like, fuck this bullshit. How are you? We used to like each other, and I'm all about that. I don't want any bad blood in my life. But yeah, he's doing well. He's working with Michael Monroe, I believe. They're a fucking sound bunch of fellas. So yeah, no, he's doing good. He's doing good, and I'm glad of it. I'm glad everyone is doing good. All I really want from anyone is that you're doing good. You're doing something that you believe in, and you're happy doing it. And that's all you can really expect from anyone. But yeah, I look forward to seeing Gav again in the future.
This is from Richard. On a bit of a snuff love fest at the moment. The band, not the Stuffy Shovelby Notes, their song Take Me Home, brackets Piss Off, is my favourite tune about being pissed. What's yours?
This fucking hair. Fucking absolutely fuck this. I should cut that short, I shouldn't have. What's my favourite snuff song?
Either snuff song or song about being pissed.
My favourite song about being pissed. I mean, what do you call it? I mean, there's loads of Pogue songs that I like. Oh, yes. My favourite song about being pissed is The Whiskey and You, which I did a cover version of. It's a Tim McGraw song. He didn't write it. It's a cover version. But that's my favourite song about being pissed. It's not a celebratory song. I would have said something like, what's the Pogue song? Fiesta, I think it's called. That's my favourite song to get pissed to. My favourite song about being pissed is a very, very dark song. And it's called The Whiskey and You. Check it out. It's by Tim McGraw. And the lyrics are just astounding. I won't go into it because can't be bothered. But it's a brilliant song. Check it out on Spotify. Tim McGraw, The Whiskey and You. It's very dark, so make sure that you're not in too treacherous a place before you delve in there. But it's very honest.
Right. Question from Nel Mondo. Hi Ginger, would you be able to play us a couple of riffs from the new album and maybe a line or two of your favourite lyrics? New Wildheart's music means a big deal to us. If you can't do that, then how about a few interesting adjectives to describe some of the songs?
I can give you a line or two. One of my favourite lines which just popped in my head. It's a really interesting album. I've been struggling mentally today. Didn't sleep last night. And there's a song called Lycanthropy on the album that's been comforting me all day. And it compares depression to being a werewolf. You know, lock me in the fucking barn. Don't open the door, just leave me alone for 24 hours and it'll be all right. And it's that kind of thing. And it's that's got some really weird riffs. And I tried to get the sound of depression. I wrote some of the riffs when I was going through a massive episode. And I captured the sound of depression in this song. And it's really weird. But that's a really good one. But one of my favourite lyrics that's been making people chuckle in the studio is this one. Death or prison or heroin, 3 ways out, 1 way in, nothing to fear but fear itself, and dinosaurs, of course. I like that.
Right, here's an interesting one from Nemeth TV45. Did you ever get your message to Jerry?
There was no message to Jerry. It was a piss take. No, I don't suppose she did get. Maybe she did. I don't know. No, that song was literally. Everyone was obsessed. I was doing a lot of drugs at the time, and I can't really back it up with anything sensible. But no, I have no idea if she heard it or not. I know there's a lot of people heard that album. There was someone that worked for a magazine, that worked for a label as well, and that was his favourite song of that year. So it did get round, and I'm a strong believer that things do get round way beyond your purview. Maybe she did hear it, but I hope not, because she probably thought there was something in it, and it was literally just a silly song about a woman that was being objectified by the media. And I think the message itself was lost in the chaos of that album. It was anti-objectification song.
One more then from Tobias Freely. I would love to hear the history of the story of Girlfriend Clothes.
Girlfriend Clothes, that was written from my experiences with guys who in the Northeast who would go out, they'd get the aftershave on, the Paco Rabanne, I think it was the aftershave of the time, and get all their clothes on to go and attract women. And they were the same guys that used to hang around in gangs. Eddie Izzard said they hang around in packs of 10 because they each have a tenth of an identity. And that is pretty much what the song is about. And the song predates Eddie Izzard, I think. Not as a human being, but as a comedian. Well-known comedian. You'd be going to your girlfriend's house and then, walking her home, walking back to yours. And there was a lot of homophobia at the time. And so you get a lot of gay slurs because I had long hair and I probably had makeup on. And the irony being that just walked my girlfriend home and they were hanging out with men. And it was not lost on me and made it into a song. Silly song, really. But there was so little to do in the Northeast at the time that beating people up was seen as a healthy pastime. And so you'd get in fights all the time. You learn how to fight, you learn how to run, and you learn to wear the right shoes to do both. But yeah, that was part of the upbringing in South Shields, was that groups of men would give you a hard time for having a girlfriend. And I think we actually did this. We did a podcast. We can't even get online in this place. So we've done this, and Phil's going to go away and he's going to do some magic, and it's going to get to you in your head. The beauty of positivity, the beauty of accepting a challenge and just fucking doing it, getting through, and no complaining. There is no complaining. There shall be no complaining, because it doesn't help anyone and it sounds rubbish. So thank you very much for your patience. Thank you to producer Phil for his patience and determination and tenacity. And I will see you hopefully this time next week from my house again, where we can just do this and I can sit at the table and look outside and everything's going to be great with a big cup of tea. But it's always a pleasure to talk to you lot. Thank you very much. I hope you aren't too offended by my fucking terrible hairstyling, but whatever. Give a fuck. Honestly, it's not that kind of day. Love you all. Thank you very, very much. See you soon. Bye-bye.